Please welcome to the mic, John M.
All right. Growing up, I had a, sorry. Growing up, I knew what it meant to live a happy life. You see growth, you see evolution. And looking at what that was, I knew that I had to die. When I was around 20 years old, I had been living a miserable, miserable life, existing in this pit, both literally and figuratively. I basically lived in a very dark, windowless room in my basement. I had a computer in front of me, and that's where my entire life existed. I was deep in drug abuse, and I had no intention of living past the age of 20. Years and years of telling myself that you need to die was really the only thing I heard. It was an echo chamber in my mind. And because I was in this room by myself, it was an echo chamber in there. One night, I was on a Skype call with my friend Bria. She was my World of Warcraft healer. But we were just chatting. I don't know, maybe we were watching some TV. By this point, I'm on around day 3 without sleep, which was a completely normal occurrence for me with what I was abusing. Looking around the room, there was this stillness. The nothing was moving in the air. There was this really thin layer of dust on all the walls. The walls were just this medium beige, very boring, very empty. I was looking over at the wall, and I looked at this massive dent. Because of how much I hated myself, I constantly wanted to escape, whether that be from drugs or alcohol, anything. And on one occasion, I was in such distress that I needed to feel nothing. So I just started bashing my head in the wall until I didn't have to think. Looking over at this dent, I really started to think about where I was going, telling myself over and over still that I need to die because the life I'm living isn't a life. I tried to think of what impact was my death going to have? Would anyone care? Since my entire life was just in that room, my parents would find me, but anything after that? Thinking about death in that moment, really contemplating what that meant to me, I would always think of just an empty blackness. But in that moment, I realized that there wouldn't be a blackness, there wouldn't be an emptiness, because there'd be no sense. I wouldn't have any of my senses, I wouldn't have any identity. There was no more I. Realizing that, I had a short panic and found out that I didn't want to die. But I felt like I had to because the life I was living wasn't a life. This all happens in the course of about 10 seconds, but I remember it so vividly because it was when everything changed. A life with meaning is a life to live. and I didn't have any. At that moment, I knew something had to change. Throughout my life, when I've realized things have to change, I have to act on it immediately, or I would think my way out. And if I had thought my way out, I don't think I'd be standing here on this stage. I was still talking to Bria, and I told her all of a sudden, I need you to call my mom. My mom is sitting right upstairs, but I knew that she was going to be in pain with what I had to tell her, and I just wanted her to have a warning. So I gave Bria my mom's phone number, and she called my mom and said, "Your son's about to come upstairs and kind of drop a bomb on you." And that's what I did. I went upstairs. I told my mom, "I want to die. I've been abusing the medication for years. I've been stealing from you, from my brother, and I had to die, but maybe I didn't." That was the day that change really came into my mind. I had a few slip ups, but I kept in mind that if I try to live the best life that I can, then there's only one place to go. That's up. I now am 7 years sober, and my life is amazing. I spend most of my time now in a room with so many windows. It's so different, but filled with my friends and family all laughing at my bad jokes. And it's the greatest life I could ask for. It's the life that I knew was worth living. Thank you.